NBC10 breaking news.
That breaking news at 6 o'clock, reduced to ruins. We have new information about this fire that destroyed a West Philadelphia church. Firefighters are still battling it right now. It's breaking news we have been following for the past 3 hours here on NBC10. Take a look. This is what the fire left behind. You can see the church's roof virtually gone. It is just a shell, but smoke is still coming out of the building. Firefighters say they will be here for hours tonight. We have live team coverage of this breaking story. NBC10's Rosemary Connors spoke to the church's pastor, but we begin with NBC10's Aaron Baskerville. He is live on the scene with new details on what happened here. Aaron.
Also, Aaron, a different view, ground level. We are in front of the church out here, Greater Bible Way Temple near 52nd and Warren, and you can see the firefight continues out here. Look at the water absolutely pouring out of the front entrances of this historic church. They've been out here for several hours. About an hour, hour and a half ago, it was still not under control, this 2-alarm fire. You can also see a bunch of debris on the ground from where this building collapsed inside and outside. Further down the block down there, you can see more firefighters spraying this historic church with water. But let's go to this cell phone video that we just got our hands on. This is new video, and you can see a man on the roof. This is moments before we believe that fire broke out. You can also see a propane tank on that roof. And it may be hard to see, but that man actually has a hose, and he's hosing off a section of that church in this video. Later on, he would get brought down by a ladder. That propane tank would also be brought down. So we're trying to figure out more of what happened there. But let's give you another view. This is the view from above, like we just saw from Skyforce 10. A whole bunch of damage out here. Firefighters have been out here for about 4 hours. We're talking about 100 firefighters. They are still trying to figure out exactly where this started, why this started. We heard from the commissioner a little while ago. Here's what he told us about this firefight.
This is active firefight. We're still very worried in an old building like this. We're worried about collapses. So there are parts of the building that have already collapsed into it. We have parts of the building collapse out into the street. So you can see we're sort of in a standoff mode. Again, what we call an exterior defensive attack, because we don't want our firefighters in those collapse zones.
So you heard it right there, those firefighters, they stayed outside, never went inside during this firefight. Of course, that is good news because that church started to collapse. Anybody that was inside the church was out by the time firefighters got here. We did receive news that one person was taken to the hospital. Right now, we don't know the condition of that person. But firefighters tell us they will be out here all night, throughout the night, to get this fire under control and make sure no hot spots flare up. Back to you, Aaron.
Certainly a tough job for firefighters. They've been out there for several hours. They will be out there for several more. Aaron Baskerville, thanks for that. Our team coverage continues now with NBC10's Rosemary Connors. Rosemary, you spoke to the church's pastor.
That's right, I did. And to follow up on what Aaron just said, in terms of that new video we just received, the pastor told me that right before the fire started, the roof was having some repair work done. Obviously, that's something that the fire commissioner and his team are going to have to investigate and look into. At the moment, from our vantage point, this is what that church looks like here, the Greater Bible Way Temple. The pastor told me that they purchased this church from the Archdiocese of Philadelphia 36 years ago, and they've been here doing ministry in the West Philadelphia community, as I said, for nearly 4 decades. As you can see from our video taken earlier today, the whole congregation, or much of the congregation, was here with the pastor, just watching and waiting as this all unfolded. Good news, obviously, that nobody was hurt. We know from the fire commissioner that no one was trapped. Nobody needed to be rescued. The pastor tells me that's a blessing. This church does a lot of outreach in the West Philadelphia community. In fact, if this weren't happening right now, the doors would be open to the needy. They have a food cupboard in the evening. They also have a shelter here at various times during the year. We spoke to the pastor a little bit more about the work that they do, the good work they do for the people in West Philly.
We give God thanks for all those we've been able to help. Lives have been changed. We have a food cupboard that's supposed to be going on right now and giving out food to those that are hungry. We do have a shelter. Summer camp just ended on Friday, and now we are asking God to provide as He always has.
He says they're going to need funds, of course, to help rebuild this church, and they're going to need to find another place to worship in the meantime. Obviously, this is destroyed. They're not getting back in there anytime soon. It may not just be months, it could be years from now. So it's something that they're going to be looking forward to for the future. In terms of some of the other outreach that they do, they take care of the children in the neighborhood. There's some daycare services at times during the year, and they also have a senior center here. So a lot of people in this community will be without until they can find another place to go in the interim. Reporting live in West Philly, I'm Rosemary Connors, NBC 10 News.
Yeah, devastating loss for that congregation and the community as well. Rosemary, thank you.